I'm Wes Carson. My family owns and operates the Homewatch CareGivers franchises in Portland, Oregon and Vancouver, Washington, where we serve home care for all ages, but kind of a specialization really on the elderly. And if I could, I'd like to share a story with you about the Homewatch CareGivers difference. My father-in-law, who was 95 and suffered from dementia, recently passed away. Most of the children lived pretty far away from him, so it was difficult to get to see him, and time with him was precious. So I had the opportunity before he passed away to take my wife and her sister to go visit their dad. Because Homewatch CareGivers has specialized training and services for those clients suffering with dementia, I was able to provide them with some instruction about how to interact with their dad, things like how do you position, tone of voice, how do you deal with certain behaviors. And so we went in there prepared. And we also had a photo book that had pictures of the kids when they were part of this young family. And they were a close family and they loved music. We walked in and Dad was sitting on the sofa. We positioned ourselves strategically, introduced ourselves in gentle tones, and then my wife started going through this picture book with him. He had a completely blank look on his face. It was clear he had no recognition of who we were. She pointed to a picture of her sister as a little girl, and then pointed to her sister who was sitting in front of him. He looked down at the picture, looked up at her sister, and all of a sudden the light came on in his eyes. And he had a huge smile, and he burst into a song. And the sisters started singing along with him in harmony, this song that they sang as children, with tears streaming down their eyes. And for the next hour, we visited with Dad, and he was there. There was that recognition in his eyes. He was constantly reaching out to touch them, to connect with them emotionally and physically. It was just a wonderful experience. And that, to me, is the representation of what we do that makes us different. Everybody wants their loved one to be watched over, safe, and cared for. But at Homewatch CareGivers, our orientation and training is to really recognize the humanity of our client and to meet their emotional needs as well. And when that happens, it's magic. And for me, that's what Homewatch CareGivers is about. So if you have a need in your family for some specialized care or any kind of care, we'd love to have the opportunity to serve your loved one. So please give us a call. We'd love to meet with you and talk about what we can do to be of service to your family. Thank you.